All right, friends, show me those listening buddies. Show me those listening buddies. Brayden, you can join us. There's a spot right there for you.
You kicked me on accident.
I am so sorry. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to read a story out of our habit book, like we did the other day. Now, we've talked about habits 1 and 2. Who can raise their hand and tell me what habit 1 is? Ethan, what's habit 1?
1-to-1.
Remember, it starts with a pa, pa, pa. Kennedy?
Proactive.
Yes, being proactive. I want you to turn to your neighbor and give them an example of how you can be proactive.
Proactive is being good and listening to the teacher whenever he's talking.
Brayden, can you come back for a minute? I want to be able to see you. Because I know you're going to have some great answers. So you sit right here and be able to see them. All right, I'm going to wrap up your conversations. 3, 2, 1, 0. Eyes on me. All right. Mr. Colson, what did your neighbor share with you about being proactive? How can you be proactive?
I'll tell you what I forgot.
Yes, being a great listener and listening to your teacher without her asking you to. Yeah. Kennedy, what's another way? Absolutely. Crisscross applesauce before your teacher asks you to do it. Great. Now, that was habit 1. Habit 2 is beginning with the end in mind. Can someone tell me what that means? Miss Cypress, tell me what that means. Absolutely. Beginning with the end in mind means you're starting out with a plan. Now, friends, can you keep your arms and legs inside your body at the same time? All right, so I want you to talk with your neighbor about how can you begin with the end in mind at home? How can you start with a plan at home? With your neighbor.
Listen to mom and dad and get the see what's on there.
All right, and 3, 2, 1, 0. All right, great. You should be having your eyes on me. Pockets on the ground, Mr. Marshall. Bubble in your mouth and hands in your lap. Miss Emma. How can you begin with the end in mind at home? All right, friends, Miss Emma's telling us a really great answer, so I need you sitting crisscross applesauce. Oh my goodness, I love how Cypress is being proactive. I didn't even have to remind her what to do. Great job. Yes, you can even be proactive at home while you're beginning with the end. Yeah. How could you? Yeah. Great. Okay. Miss Delaney. It was proactive.
I'll clean it out
Absolutely.
like I today and sorting it out.
Great job. All right, friends, put a hand up in the air. Other hand up. In your lap. Get ready, set for our book. Okay, our story today is about habit number 3. Habit number 3 is putting first things first.
I knew that.
Now this story is about. I love how Carson's being proactive right now. I see David is being proactive. Great job. Okay, this is about a spelling test and how a little guy did not put first things first. Here we go. Pokey and the spelling test.
We weighed this before.
All right, I want to make sure everybody can see because I want you to be able to remember this. Marshall, crisscross applesauce, sir.
I can't see.
One Monday, Pokey sat in class watching Miss Hoot write 6 words on the blackboard. Play, fun, cab, for, you, drunk. These words will be on Friday night's spelling test, said Miss Hoot. Be sure you study every night, and then you'll spell these words just right. After school, Pokey went home and took a nap. Ding dong! Someone was at the door. It was Sammy. Hiya, Pokey, said Sammy. Do you want to go to the dump and look for some gadgets? Pokey knew he should study, but going to the dump sounded like more fun. Sure, said Pokey. When they got there, Pokey saw an old drum. He thumped it lightly. Dum, 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 dum. Awesome, said Pokey. He carried the drum home. He played it for the rest of the afternoon. So did Pokey study that afternoon? No. Let's see, he's got a few more days. He can still study. On Tuesday, Lily, Skunk, and Tagalong Allie stopped by Pokey's house. Allie and I just made some chocolate chips, Aubrey. They're so yummy. Want to try them? Said Allie. What? Do you want to try some? Said Lily. I have to study for my spelling test, said Pokey. But I guess I can do that later. So off he went to Lily's house. When Pokey got back, he played his drum. Then he played his harmonica, and then he fell asleep. So did he study on Monday?
No.
Did he study on Tuesday?
No.
Ooh. Yeah, still Friday. On Wednesday afternoon. Oh, Mr. Marshall. I really hope that you are wanting to hear the rest of this book because it's a really interesting book. I don't want to have to remind you again. Can you show me what being proactive looks like when you're listening to a book? All right, I'm going to be watching. On Wednesday afternoon, Pokey went on a butterfly hunt with Goob. And on Thursday afternoon, he took a bicycle ride with Jumper. So did he study Wednesday?
No.
Or Thursday?
No.
Oh dear. What comes after Thursday?
Friday.
When he got home, he remembered the spelling test was the next day and he hadn't studied even one word. He took out his spelling cards and he taped them to the wall. Play, fun, have, for, you, drum. Pokey tried to write them all down, but the letters swam in front of him like little fish, Marshall. There were too many words to learn in just one night. The more Pokey tried to memorize them, the more confused he got. He finally gave up and went to sleep. The next day, Pokey failed the test, Miss Haley. He spelled every word wrong except for drum. What happened? Asked Miss Hoot. Didn't you study? I know you could have done better. I kept finding other things to do, said Pokey. Sophie was standing nearby. You shouldn't procrastinate, she said. Huh? Said Pokey. I mean, Ethan, that you should put first things first and do your homework. You do your homework first and then you have fun later. Miss Hoot agreed. She told Pokey he could take the test again next Friday. And this time, don't wing it, she said. What does wing it mean?
Don't do it when do your work first and then like.
If we say we're gonna wing it, does that mean we're starting with a plan?
No. Yeah.
What does wing it mean?
Yes. Starting with a plan.
Talk with your neighbor. See if you can think about. If you ever heard someone say, "Let's just wing it."
And you just wing it and then play
All right, 3, 2, 1. Hands in. All right. Now I know wing it. You might not have heard it before, so raise your hand if your neighbor and you talked about winging it mean not having a plan. Winging it means just making it up as you go along. Is that what you and your neighbor talked about? Yes? Yeah, good. So winging it is the opposite of putting first things first. If you have a plan, you don't have to wing it. Winging it means you're making it up as you go along. Oh, I see. David's being proactive. Thank you, Peyton. I'm sure your neighbor had a really great time talking to you. All right. Here we go. Let's see if next time if he starts with a plan. Pokey went home, and he looked at his new drum. He heard it in his head. And then he looked at his spelling words. Ding dong! Somebody was at the door, Marshall. It was Sophie. I came to help you study, she said. They worked for a whole hour without stopping once. Somebody else was at the door. It was Jumper. Want to play baseball, he said. I can't, Jumper, said Pokey. I'm studying. You're what? I'm studying. That's cool, said Jumper. Catch you another time. And off he ran. Marshall, I would like you to go sit at a table, please. You're showing me that you can't handle being on the carpet. Thank you for making that choice. Pokey studied a little bit each day. On Friday, he took the test again. Fur and feathers, said Miss Hoot. You got a perfect score. Pokey's quills poked out all over. He wanted to thank Sophie. He went home and got his drum, and he took it to her house and left with a note. The note said, "For you, play drum. Have fun. Love, Pokey." Were those some of his spelling words?
Yes.
Yeah. So he was able to use his spelling words in real life. That's awesome. So, the end. Boys and girls, so why did Pokey put off studying for his spelling test?
So we can learn better.
Why did he, at the first time, why did he put it off? Why did he be like, well, I'm going to do that later. I'm going to do that later. What was he doing instead, Kaden?
Because he wanted to do something else.
Kaden, what was he doing instead?
He just wanted to get happy with the teacher and get a higher score.
So the first time when he did not do well on his test, when he did not study his words, what did he choose to do instead of studying his words?
Play.
Yeah, he chose to play. Was that a good choice?
No.
No, it wasn't. Because what happened? Because he played instead of studied. Did he pass his test?
No, he
No.
failed.
Yeah. So what did he do differently? How did he feel before the first test?
Play.
When he didn't study and he was, oh, my test is tomorrow. How did he feel? Turn to your neighbor and talk about how you would have felt. Hey, Brayden, come over here and talk to me. Brayden and Colton. I'm going to hear what you guys say. So if you had a spelling test and you didn't study, then I hope that would give you
I'll be
All right, 3, 2, 1, 0. All right. I want you to share with me what your neighbor said. Kennedy, what's one thing your neighbor told you? How would they feel if they had a test but they didn't study for it?
Sad.
Sad. Yeah. Does anybody else have another word to describe how they felt? Daphne?
I would feel mad.
Mad, maybe. Yeah, mad at yourself for not studying, right? William?
Sad.
Yeah. Sad. Yeah. Great.
I already said
Okay, so then the next time we had a test. Check your bodies, check your bodies. Next time Pokey had a test, did he keep putting off studying?
No.
No, what did he do instead, Peyton?
Study.
What did he do instead the second time? He studied, right. Miss Izzy, when Pokey studied the second time and he had been working on his spelling words, how did he feel before the second test? How did he feel? Did he feel prepared or did he feel kind of scared again? Yeah, he felt prepared. Great. All right, boys and girls, when we get back from the bathroom, we're going to talk about how you guys can begin, how you guys can put first things first when we do math centers. So right now, if you are a girl, I want you to stand up and walk to the line. We're going to go to the bathroom. Great job, ladies. All right, if you are gentlemen, I need you to stand up.